If you guys have questions, by the way, feel free to put them in chat. I'm usually better at answering questions than I am commentating games, because I've never really done it before, so if you guys want to ask questions, feel free. Zac, man, he's basically free LP. Like, anyone that's played Zac at higher elo currently knows that Zac's pretty easy to control, pretty easy to manipulate in early game, and has a really good transition to mid. So, basically fucking invincible. Rumble ban kind of gets rid of the stigma of like picking the top first rotation. You don't really get punished too hard within the second one because they can't just take Rumble, I guess, as their thought process. They don't want to ban it later. Because like SKT can just blind pick Rumble, I suppose, if they really want. Galio's super strong right now too. That's why like it looks like Longzhu's looking for Galio just off of bans. They might be on your side. It should be good on my side because I'm watching from my stream. You might want to do your quality and make it, instead of automatic, make it a specific P. Yeah, Galio first pick. Yeah, they basically gave the Galio away off those bans. I don't know what they expected, unless they're planning to counteract that in first rotation. Makes no sense to ban away Rumble Syndra, then two high pressure junglers like Lee and Elise, and then just give it to Galio blue side. Galio has like no pressure top side now against him. I mean, I guess Galio can get flex, but Kha'Zix this early is really interesting. Just knowing there's no other high impact jungles up. Like I guess like no one really cares about Graves on this patch anymore, which they shouldn't. Picking Kha'Zix this early on red side is actually pretty strong. There's not really anything to counteract. Both pick low eco ADC's bot lane. No jungle pick yet from SKT. If they don't pick it this rotation, it's gonna get punished really hard in second phase bans. That's really standard though. So there's nothing else for high impact. Ashe has better low eco than Varus does for the most part, but they get the Lulu pick as well. So it's a toss up. Either Longzhu picks support here and risks another solo lane into two bans, so there's Talia. Talia's super safe. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. They don't care about supports getting banned out. Knowing them, they might pick, with this comp they could pick TK, I'm not 100% sure though, but they have two bans left. They'll just ban out mids, I guess, and give Talia a really strong mid-initiative matchup to where she can just shove and wave, with Kha'Zix having higher priority on the jungle matchup more likely than not. So they'll just look for early invades and sitting pretty bot-centric on red side, which is usually what you'll do since red side is the safe lane for bot lane anyways. So they have a lot of ban options. It just really depends on how they want to impact in the first few minutes is what the bans really mean. Kennen, okay, yeah, so they ban Kennen because they think Galio could be flexed mid. So they don't worry too much on that, so they just ban that away, which is a really smart idea, knowing they want to play bot centric. They want wave control as much as they can bot side. So having any pressure top side, Galio being flex mid I think is really cheese. I don't really think it's actually that great. Like it's really safe wave control. Triple D ring's really popular. I think once this patch is over with, I don't think Galio will be too strong mid. It's really good counter roam. I mean, you don't really want to invade against Galio, and then even then it's pretty hard in some matchups. But the Talia pick kind of outshoves him, so. Overall, I don't think it's that great. So see, like, there's two bans there where they'd be scared to have a high initiative push top. So they're expecting Galio mid, and if Galio isn't mid, then it's fine. I don't necessarily 100% agree with this, but it's their safest ban phase on Longzhu's side. Yeah, the Longzhu's like got a draft to win so far. This Graves pick is really just because they have nothing else to really draft away here. Relying a lot on Galio and Varus. Transitioning into mid game to actually control the map, to be honest. Let's our music down a little bit. Yeah, okay, so Galio gets flexed top, that makes a lot of sense, but keep in mind, red side just gets advantage here, because then they'll just draft something like, I guess like Renekton, we'll just have wave initiative and control, and the pulling him's not too hard. Off the rift by SKT, it did really open up the top lane Galio. It's one of the few matchups where Galio can actually be open. Sorry, I just got a text. Is the Fiora, and Khan is a very known, especially solo queue Fiora player. So Renekton has pressure. Renekton's alright. Fiora ban made a lot of sense on their side, not just due to the fact that Khan's a nut, like not like Khan's like an insanely great top lane player, but like Fiora just like Galio actually has a pretty good hold against Fjord out of most tanks, but around like 2-3 items, like the Fjord just starts walking through people no matter what. It's just a time bomb. So, I don't really know what SKT's comp can do for Windows against LZ because they cover a lot of really good early game options. They have like super good map control early, really good 4-mans to bot side, really good control of bot side jungle. Top even has pretty decent initiative at specific points. Maybe not entirely early game, but overall it looks pretty strong. I was like I said, you guys have any questions in chat, feel free, because that's going to be about the only time I pause is when people have questions, so I can actually go over stuff. So please feel free to chat it up.
Ruining my day, but things can go different. The 2v2 is always the highlight when these 4 players take the rift as well. A lot to look at, a lot to really gauge, because it feels like Longzhu, as I said, are really focusing on early game.
Yeah, and SKT focusing on being able to buff up that one carry that they can have in the late game, be that Faker, be that Wolf, I mean Bang, both of them having champions that can carry. We'll see who's going to get to that position or whether Longzhu is going to take over as we hit the rift.
This intro is forever. Yeah, no, LCK is super beautiful, but I love, like, their camera looks so much different in game than than everyone else. Serve, get the hell out of here. You're not learning anything from me, get out. So double D shield starts bot lane, just want to talk about that. Never do anything besides like D shield. There's just no point. It's so like high gold efficiency that there's no point in ever doing anything else. Like D shield's just perfect. D blade doesn't benefit you in transitions. It's so much better overall. Just do that, please. If you do anything else, you're trolling. So, okay. D-Shield started on Renekton's pretty good for the small trades. Galio just goes D-Ring because he opts to go triple just for wave control and mana return and stuff like that. It's really simple. It's a really basic 5-man point. They just double contest bot. This could be a script knowledge as well, but this is usually pretty standard. So.
Every lane looks like a lane you're pretty happy to gank as cuz the strong CC on hit on top lane. Liable in bot lane.
I think even with the passive it's still pretty efficient. Double potion doesn't really change much on the item. I think the item's still extremely strong. I don't know what D-Ring will change a lot in the game, I think. The D-Ring getting nerfed to the unique passive is pretty big, but overall I think for the most part D-Shield's still the strongest Orange item. Even with just one pot. This is really obvious they're going to contest raids. This is something I don't really get about high level play right now, is the real like 100% needed contest raids, especially when you know, like it's really basic. Like Talia is still sitting bot side, you know this is Kha'Zix, Renekton's already walking top, and mid's not showing mid with like, there's not a match there, you know what I mean? So the only place that Cassiopeia can be is bot down here, but you know that like with just ward coverage in general, you know Graves is going to start raids. So this start up here, like you just know that you're just going to get contested from top jungle, or for top mid, sorry. So like being on Longzhu's side, it's pretty not great to start raids. Would just tell you 5-man though, not necessarily the fact that like they're starting the wrong spot and then like their comp can't do raids, just the fact that how they start the level 1, the raids can't be done. And also, I mean, just keep in mind, like Renekton walks up, Galio has a lot of really good pressure on Kha'Zix on raids anyways. So it's just overall, it's just not good map placement level 1 for them to do this. Kha'Zix should probably just be bot side or starting red or whatever the fuck he wants to do. But like, look, this pressure is just so free. You know Graves is gonna start Raptors, so he can do it extremely easily if he starts Q. Oh, ooh, that didn't do anything for them. That literally did nothing. They got no pressure. He's got all the CS anyways. So I both know they start raids. If they played that a little bit better, that could have been a really big punish on SKT's side. That's fine. They know Graves starts Raptors, so he just walks straight to blue, but Graves will do the same thing. Okay, he's just doing Scuttle to red. Hello? Okay. They know Graves walks topside through the ward, so they just go red. Okay, that's fine. Falling will auto shove early, which makes a lot of sense as far as Lulu versus Ashe Thresh. That's just how it should happen for the most part. Also knowing the jungle started raids, thinking to shove bot early as well. Both sides just have information to shove.
Always the potential.
Play the lane properly.
Great players on the rift.
So the mid level 2 basically goes every single time for the most part, especially when Cass starts corrupting. She just takes the early trades and tries to punish really hard. So that's pretty standard. This lane gets a little bit better after first back. The shoves will be a little bit safer. Kha'Zix will be done clearing, so his gank pressure is a little bit better. Their 2v2 is really strong on LZ's side for mid lane. Pre-6. They don't play it super bad, so it's fine to get shoved in early. This is not where the LZ will get impact in jungle though. So yeah, Cass level 2 is just dumb.
Whether he chooses to wave clear or whether he chooses to harass and try to get the trades in there with no resources. So Khan has more options this lane, and you can see he's gone super aggressive. He's gone keystone-wise for the fervor, so he's definitely looking for those all-in trades and the amount of.
Like casters are talking about, Gallia wants to shove early, or not Gallia, Renekton wants to shove early. I didn't really think that he could actually get the shove early with D-Shield, but it looks like Gallia's just forfeiting farm because Renekton took fervor. So I really took fervor. Overall, he really needed to confirm that trade knowing that Cass was taking corrupting and she was ooh. It's really bad. Her getting shoved in lets Graves walk in and get planned, stuff like that. Like this pressure doesn't, I mean it means a good amount considering bots getting auto shoved in. Like that's how he confirms that. Mid shoves, bot shoves, so Graves walks up and tries to get pressure, but he's a little bit too late to catch blue, but he still gets some vision control and realizes where he is. And getting the vision on Kha'Zix, if you're good at the game, you can kind of CS. Just using the tab button, so you can figure out what he's cleared already and what he has left and what's available and stuff like that. So you can read his further clear later on. So getting that information is really important, especially when his lanes are having initiative. He can abuse it more than Kha'Zix can, because Kha'Zix has to play reactively in that situation while Graves can play proactively. He just can't really play it too much topside. It's still pretty safe to do it topside, but post 6, they have a better collapse overall with just Talia wall. So especially playing on a 7.10. Whether the Renekton changes are reverted or not, Renekton's still really strong. It's a pretty minute difference, to be honest. See, this is a mid gank that you don't want to set up. There's no point. We're going to watch that again just because. We'll see how that formulates. So basically, Kha'Zix has no other farm to get. He knows his ward's bot side, so he just rotates top side. I think his Raptors just now come up. Is he doing him or is he just sitting? No, he's going to do him. Okay, so his Raptors just come up. He leaves him, I guess. I don't really know fucking know what he's doing. I can't see off the map. So they know there's a ward topside, so they walk around through pink vision, and like he's just fiending for a kill at this point. There's nowhere else for him to be besides back. But I think he wants to touch mid then go Raptors then back if anything, because he knows these are going to be safe, since he should assume that Graves is bot side because his raids have just spawned as well. So he's looking for quick gank from this angle, and it just never really works. I mean, like, if you know Graves is bot side and you're hovering the gank from top, you're not going to get any collapse, because she's going to walk down to her jungler, as well as with how the wave state is, if you look at it. Like, as soon as, like, I mean, she has... Yeah, enemy has minion advantage. She has to press Q here and walk down. Like this lane's like it doesn't seem very safe, but like she's like what, like 200 mana maybe, if that, like maybe like 120, and she has a collapse on Faker who's like 80% health while she's like 40. So this gank just never works. Just walk straight fucking down. So now she just gets the catch away for free. She doesn't have to contest that. She doesn't have to fight for anything. It's super safe. You're just wasting time and applying pressure at that point. Yeah, so I have this thingy on right here, so.
It's going to be an extra Doran's ring, and those boots. Refillable potion is in there as well.
Gorilla's identity in this game is going to be fun to track. You think back to his great Thresh performances, compared to him as
overall the macro play is really interesting in this set already. It's a pretty standard clears for the most part, but it's like how they're reacting to the clears. They're willing to play safe, but it looks like Kha'Zix is looking for pretty big windows off of like nothing. Like literally minimal advantage, knowing where the enemy jungler is and still like trying to rationalize it, I guess is a good way to put it.
So will he get afforded the space to leave lane, leave prey alone when it's Varus Lulu from Bang & Wolf? You know, Lulu's very lane focused.
I just think it's really funny because both teams want their bot lanes out of lane phase as fast as they can. And both of them are gonna look, well, not look to 4-man bot, but both of them find that window through different avenues, I guess. Like, LZ wants to 4-man bot, while mid kind of just wants to rotate through topside, I guess, or just have Gallia rotate. And I mean, itemization's generally the same. They spike at the same times in bot lane. It's just that they, with Thresh versus Lulu, the game plan's a little different. Long as it was a really good 4-man, though. I think their comp is really easy to execute here, especially with how they're playing the map. They're actually leaving bot real. Yeah, they're leaving Ashe to 1v2 bot lane pre-6 is really, really smart. This is a really good window to leave Ashe in bot side, where this wave's still slow pushing into her, and both enemy laners aren't 6 yet, so they can't just force dive or force jungle down bot side to 3-man. So that's pretty good, pretty smart idea from them to leave Thresh out to go to roaming now. Mid 6, both mid laners are 6. Now, this is a change in pace. You haven't seen Kha'Zix really do this yet. They're controlling bot side vision to look for 4-man already. This is really, really important to do as a team. Like, they've timed this perfectly. They know bot's going to back here because they want itemization. Because they're hitting 6, so they want to abuse this power spike the best they can. But, they're cool with that. It's like, fuck it, whatever. Ashe has got solo experience, so she's got vision control for the 4-man bot, and mid has shove now. Off of first back. Because she goes tier and she goes double D-ring, so. It's pretty big. That's a really small window. That was a 30-second window where they just capitalized on the map and got a lot of really good control and vision just for this 4-man. But with how wave's being controlled mid, this wave sadly goes to waste. They can't do anything off this wave.
Is a great meta if you want to be watching Gorilla. Make the big plays.
Excited to see what he can make happen as he's moving towards the mid lane now. BDD taking control back here in mid. Not a lot of battle stats on that one, so the extra Doran's ring from BDD helping him out.
Yeah. Ashe back, same thought process. She's up with his 6. She wants power spike. They control dragon vision, which is exactly what they want to do. Now Lulu's gonna go kind of counter contest his vision and look mid.
Lulu and Graves in mid lane.
Yeah, but bot's here, so they're fine. There's jungle, yeah. They can look for pick. I kind of like this. Okay. Okay, we're gonna watch that again real quick. So this is really, really interesting. Do you see how they contest his vision right here and then show Kha'Zix? They aim for this. Like this is a thought their team has cohesively. It's like, okay, so we're gonna contest his vision. We're gonna see them walk up here because they saw Lulu walk through Wraith Bush right here, so they're gonna walk up and they're gonna just try to buff and kill her as fast as they can. The execution is a little weak. They kind of collapse on that when Talia doesn't have Q up. If she had Q up a little bit earlier, and also she Q'd incorrectly, thinking that she was walking up, so they blow a good amount there. Her not having flash is actually really, really big in this matchup because Castle has flash advantage. Just like I said, the 2v2 is not too weak, so her blowing flash doesn't really ruin a lot. You have to be careful for when bot lane gets out of lane phase and not having cleanser flash up. It's really, really good micro movement. Both are in though.
Standing up, being accounted for, taking the trade, famously.
Having Longs having this early game pressure, knowing that their bots are about to hit 6 and they're blowing sums like Lulu Summoners, Cass Ghost, stuff like that. Having Ashe on their side without their mid laner having cleanse and having mid initiative, it's going to set up their team for a lot of really good early movements with Ashe Arrow. Also really funny to note that Ashe opted to take Fervor. Which, I mean, it's better numbers-wise when you go and rush things like Blazer and King, so she has numbers advantage in terms of damage, but Warlords is better in lane, I guess, in that matchup. I'm really not sure why I took Warlords, to be honest. I don't think it's too great. They're scary, I guess, on small trades, and having Varus have mobility later on, I suppose. But she has Lulu, so I don't really understand Warlords overall. I think it's just better to go Fervor. But also Ashe is like going to be their main damage mid to late game, so it makes sense to take Fervor as well.
You can't really itemize for as Kha'Zix can be powerful, reset or no reset, but you're right, Thunderlords, given what we talked about with the earlier identity with Rek'Sai, for example, and Talia especially, makes a lot of sense because.
You can see like he's only controlling this bot side vision, like that ward right there is only to cover Talia roam. This really doesn't do anything else. They're really just trying their best to cover Talia from leaving mid side, knowing that she's just getting auto shoved in, and they're doing a pretty good job of that. Once she gets blue and Ka gets a clear, and once he's back to actual playing the game, it'll be way easier overall. So that's how this lane plays, like 100%. That's just exactly what happens every time. She wasn't level 6 yet, so they just punished a window. I don't really think she needed a wall. That's actually really awful. See, mid waves are just about to crash. He goes for blue. They see fight happen bot. They communicate that Lulu's 5 for sure when they force that fight. And having Talia roam down, like you you know that she's not gonna make it there in time, and like this fight's really really safe. I mean, this guy doesn't have flash or anything, but literally right here he just has to walk away. Like as soon as Graves pops up, like this wall doesn't do anything for them at all. They're already out. That fight won't be contested at all. If he throws flash in, then they just lose trade because she has both sums. So overall, I think that wall's pretty useless, and then it just shoves mid back into them. So she just misses out on a wave. I think overall that play is really, really good from bot side, but I think this like, giving a mid wave kind of sucks. Knowing jungle's bot side, Kha'Zix goes and gets quick wards. It's interesting. See, like I said, that's just really weird map movement. But they just to give it up because it's 2v1. So. Okay, the game's low quality for me, so hold on. Come on. Let it buffer real quick. I have cowboy internet, I apologize. Oh, it's not gonna load? Hello? There you go. Like even that mid engage, it doesn't do anything. Like she blows absolutely nothing. She just walks away. Like the only thing they really got from that whole entire thing, from mid jungle duo going bot side, was like getting this ward, and they could have probably just done that knowing the jungle was bot side and they didn't. Like Kha'Zix just walked through and the mid could have got initiative. So that doesn't change anything. That's just really weird.
For our red side team, there are so many control wards.
So many people rotating through mid lane.
Yeah, they have a lot of good movement, but they're just like using the movement like really funky, for lack of a better term.
Would be able to shove in. But they're throwing in more resource to actually get true mid lane priority, which against Faker doesn't matter what the champion matchup is something to crave and something so few mid laners have ever claimed.
Oh yes. Taking a look at the top lane.
Yeah, no, she has blue initiative. Like literally all she has to do is just shove wave and then have Kha'Zix rotate the side lanes to pick people.
20 CS lead for Khan.
You know, Vars has no heal, you know, Lulu has no sums. You just gonna look for bot lane again as soon as you can. Ashe has arrow in like 25 seconds.
Feels like a solo kill.
No, it's way shorter. It's like 15. So they have lane close to them. This is perfect from like LZ's side. They have bot lane still pushing into them with Ashe arrow advantage, knowing that the support doesn't have sums. So they're in a place to actually, you know, abuse lane and go for dragon or go for vision or bot tower or whatever.
Got the dominance too.
Yeah, both of them aptly named, and now BDD looking without the ultimate to come in for a play. I'm just dirty farming here around the back, just baiting them in. BDD not going to find anything.
Optimistic.
Yeah, still claiming the farm is Khan, losing a lot of his health bar too.
Khan, another player that we really didn't know what to expect. Cuz had the solo Q buzz, BDD has always had a bit of a swagger, and again was a top.
So like the map moves are, I guess they're trying to go over contest Rift. Rift average take times like what, like 14 to 16 minutes, if I remember correctly. Usually, or you use it a little bit later. I don't know if you take it that or that late, but mid has crazy pressure on it. They need to turn that into something though. Like the biggest part about getting that mid pressure against Faker, like okay, so like this is they see jungle mid, so they force bot. That's perfect. He still has no flash. That was a really good window by them. They don't need a 3-minute. They're gonna use that pressure since mid got dropped. They're gonna use that to pressure wards topside. I can see what they want to do that though, considering the ball lane's really easy to 2v2 for them right now since they have fervor advantage and item advantage for the most part. So they have tabbies over them. It means more than having recurve.
Two straight up kills means that red side jungle's a lot more unsafe for Peanut to play around.
So they just go for Rift. Mid's dead. Jungle has to walk topside. They'll see Jungle walking topside. Talia walked bot there though. Okay, now she's walking back up. Talia has wall as well. This is super safe Rift. If he walks up, they just pick with Talia wall. And they'll have mid initiative one more time. So let's mid shove into contesting with Peanut. So Talia's just gonna shove and walk up. No? They'd rather just shove mid? I guess they didn't want to over contest that knowing that Faker was back, but they didn't know what side he was on quite yet because he was walking bot side. Now they're walking. This is real funny looking. That's just top side. They just have to 4v3 that.
I was watching Faker's stream where he was playing jungle Nidalee and forgot to pick it up. So there is that definite amount of time where you can pick it up. For now, Longjude still don't have access to the buff.
Talia's just a wall. This is really funny.
This is a 4 versus 3. Make that a 4 versus 2 as Huni is deleted.
But Peanut is still escorting the Rift.
This is so not good at all. Well, I'm gonna watch that again. They got it.
Take down mid lane, they get it.
Oh,
That's so
so cute with the dark
that was
passage.
so stupid.
Get himself out. Okay.
Like Talia's just sitting here backing while Cass is shoved in. Like she could just ult here and pick these guys 2v3 before Cass can rotate. Even with Ghost, like that's just so funny. Like they have so many options just to fight them.
And damage the rift tower.
Especially since they see Lulu boss and Thresh walking in, even if the fight extends, they have rotational advantage.
Well, Cuz is gonna jump back in. He
Like
wants
right here, this is where they just need a wall and
to
fight.
throw this one away. There
Like
it is.
Renekton's ult's ticking as well. It's just
Great
super
game by Longzhu.
funky.
They may not be able to
Thanks
pick
get
up the
back ahead
buff.
though.
For now, Longzhu still don't have
Jesus
access to the
Christ.
buff. Sitting on the rift
That's
tower.
fine for them though, because Ash gets solo XP and catch bot. Lulu's just kind of wandering, doesn't really do much, and they get a kill out of it. So overall, it makes sense. It's just Jesus fucking Christ, that's so
Lina is
dumb.
still escorting the rift tower buff. Wolf is called up here as well. This is how.
This is like I've talked about this a lot on the Discord. It's like when a game just kind of devolves, except like this is at a higher level. When a game just devolves to like multiple mistakes, it just ends up just being this fucking wonky where you're just defending a rift in the middle of the map and you just walk down the contest Talia 1v3 instead of staying in pit.
The rift herald is.
It's just funny.
Take down mid lane, they get it.
Oh, that was so cute with the dark passage getting Cuz out.
So the reason why
It's multiple
you fight
small
over this
micro
so much is
mistakes.
One of Cassiopeia's biggest problems is wave clear. She can take out a wave over time, but her ability to instantly AoE down a wave clear is very low as Bang & Wolf continue to trade. So getting Rift Herald here is an advantage in its own, and that's why SKT.
I hope Longzhu wins game 1 because this makes sense. I didn't watch the set, but they have top almost down, the chipped all the way down. They can rotate Talia bot basically whenever they want at this point, which they should have just. When she okay, whatever, never mind. I guess they can wait for Talia wall to come back up and just pressure through bot, but they're so far ahead bot lane right now. Once Ash backs as well, she'll have a lot of items.
Given all the crowd control, not even just from the lane he's facing.
Well, back is actually going to be stopped as he hangs out. With his teleport back, Barney Cinder and Triple Doran's means that the wave pool is very.
See, like how this early game map is moving, you can kind of tell that they don't really care for 4-man bot anymore. I'm not quite sure why, because their 4-man bot's still super duper free, but like it's just how like top's chipped and stuff, and they're still rotating bot side. They could just take the gold top as well and dive Galio. Not dive Galio, but like he's auto-shoving wave to go get Roam off now. I mean, like you can just keep him there and then 3-man him. But it's like, these picks are just so bad. Like that, they've known that's been warded like the past 2 to 3 times. I don't know why they path over here like that. Like this, they know this entrance covered on red side is completely warded due to how the bot fights have gone and due to how mid's been shoved and the basic dueling in this mid side. I don't understand how this keeps happening on them. SKT has to play a lot more top centric, looking for maybe the 2v1 early game against Renekton, or just looking to kind of abuse the waves in mid lane. Like the Talia is pretty easy to 2v1 now, knowing that Kha'Zix is kind of sitting in side lanes and just trying to get vision control for the Graves. She need to clear vision and then go for pressure early, especially post 6 cast needs pressure in that lane matchup. Even if it's just rotate the mid for tower chip damage or something if Talia leaves, like you need to be able to force her out of lane or make her pretend that she has options in a side lane through rotations or fake wave manipulation or whatever. But they get first tower off that, bot will just rotate, hopefully just topside to 3-man for tower. They can just go mid though with Ash arrow later on and then just arrow mid.
We had an Ash who had to emergency roam mid lane because he couldn't lane 2v2 in game 1. That was duel. This is Jin on the side of Everate. This is the other type of Ash, an Ash that's unleashed on the map, and that's not even the most important.
Like, the vision control is perfect. They see her clear bot side here, they just go reward that. They're already walking back in, their wards are refreshed, they're fine. There's Graves going to top side like I said he probably would. It doesn't do much though.
Let's see where Longzhu want to set up because they've got pick tools aplenty.
Yep, and Gorilla also has mobility boots as well, so he can be in the right.
They can wait to play the long term and wait for Cass Varus to scale up, but even then, like, LZ just has such high impact, and even then their curve's not even that bad.
He's going to discover Bang, knows that he can take him down, but didn't want to go for that kill.
Banshee's on Talia, makes a lot of sense. Really good for Varus ult or Galio taunt or whatever you really want to use it for. Makes a lot of sense. Lulu Thresh I guess will play Roam. I guess Ash assumed that Varus would shove wave in. Varus is rotating top. I guess they're going to try to look the 3-man that tower knowing they can get tier 1 bot and they're not going to freeze bot lane. This is really standard of a rotation as Varus goes top side. He's getting solo level, solo XP, solo gold. Not bad. I don't really like how they're doing this though with sending the Ash mid to arrow. They're doing it because the cast doesn't have cleanse. But you know that the bot lane's roaming here, and it's just that dive overall is really bad. You should just focus top side and get free tower, and then use mid as last resort. They want to keep. I guess they wanted to keep top up, thinking they could just quickly kill Cass into tower rotation. But it's just way better to take the gold top lane and then force somebody deeper into side lanes here. Galio can just walk back from base because lane's neutral top side. They didn't. I don't think they tried to cheese this with vision control with the two pinks here, thinking they could get a quick cheese on Cass. But Lulu was still sitting mid and drink. There's nowhere else for her to be on the map. The top laner's on top side. She won't be there. Bot lane doesn't need any ward control. If Bars isn't there, the pushback to get that CS, and you don't see Lulu on these bot wards, you know she's mid. There's nowhere, like I said, there's nowhere else for her to be. She won't be top centric, even though they have ward control there. Why would they 2-man to 3-man top? Because then the Ashe mid makes a lot more sense. The only thing they can do is reactively sit mid or control wards top and be ready to rotate top if Ashe goes there. So I didn't like that very much. I think that was just a little bit of that. What the hell did he just do? Okay. Looks like he was trying to rotate the top wave, but just walked through jungle where he had no vision, and Renekton was just there topside. That's whatever. Okay. We need a counter throw. It's really funky. See, like this mid game, like this whole game has been super troll. From like the Rift Herald on, like this whole entire macro play has been super dumb. Like if this game didn't devolve, they would recognize that they've been controlling bot vision this whole entire game, and if they're not showing top on that wave with Renekton, just the 3-man through tower, and the Varus isn't showing bot, then everyone else is just going to have to be mid for both sides. They know that red side's going to be sitting mid side to the two pinks here. They've controlled those two pinks the whole entire game. That vision's been there. And they know that Ashe wants to look for towers and picks early, considering she has advantage, and then she's a low eco mid and you have Thresh, so you're just going to be looking for picks. So they just say, okay, well there's no one engaging top, no one setting up top wave for slow push, so they're going to have to be mid. So overall, that's just really bad play from both sides, because they also recognize, okay, well, they're not showing top because we don't have wave slow push there, so we haven't set up anything mental for them to try to fix. And like we've controlled this bot vision the whole entire game, and we have no one trying to sweep top or get control there to even just bait going top tower. So overall, like it's just a pretty easy read from both sides.
Floundering sounds harsh, but it's true because Faker was not going to be there. He had already committed to going bot lane, Crown-esque, Faker-esque.
And now they know Ashe is on CD and that their mids he just kind of fucks. So after this play, you see Faker bot side. He's just trying to scale, get 2 to 3 items, and then rotate back to mid lane. Mid will be held now. They blew a lot for that, and they have Galio as well. It's really hard to take tower away from Galio, especially with a low eco AD carry, and then Lulu. If they had Caitlyn or like Twitch or something, it'd be way easier to take mid away from them. But they have too much utility in the early game to really drop towers. Like I said, also, if you guys have questions in the chat, feel free. I don't want to ramble for 10 years. This dive's just troll. They try to go for the picks on the back, but they don't have the resources to do so. They got Galio because he's ending. It's literally as like cookie cutter as it gets. Cassie gets swapped back to mid now that the bot lane's not going to look the clear wave bot or anything anymore because Talia doesn't want to be bot side right now either. They're looking for mid, so they want wave initiative. So they'll drop mid now though. Mid kind of just goes away. They'd rather give up mid and let them kind of get jungle control. Look at this fucking bot side control. This has been happening without mid tier 1 being down. Mid tier 1 drop in doesn't really change too much. They looked for quick gold top lane as well. They didn't get pushed because Renekton swapped. So that 60 CS is due to Galio rotating mid there, and then Renekton's had complete control of how the waves have been going topside as well. So that's really not anything too crazy. It's pretty standard on how the matchup goes. You can also see Renekton taking Cole here because he just knows he's going to have the wave control for the whole entire lane because Galio just range keys and just waits for it to crash to him. So Renekton's catching side waves. They're looking to get a really good power spike out of Renekton in this mid game at 20 minutes. It's going to be pretty good with 2 items. Once he gets Titanic, it'll be pretty nuts. But now mid has initiative. There's no tier 1 boss. All they aim for is tier 1 tower, but they aim from neutrals. Next Dragon's Infernal, so they won't be looking too much into top towers, considering they already got first blood on tower. Bot lane's still up as well. That changes a lot of how the macro gets played towards Dragon, because his tier 1's still available, so wave won't crash past here. So overall, long seasons are pretty good spot to control the game. Oh, this is next Dragon's Mountain, but it says right here it's Infernal in a minute. So I don't know. But they have complete bot control, mid shoving. They're still kind of looking for top control, trying to take. They don't want to fight this, I don't think, so they might look for top trade over Infernal, which I don't think is really good, but it lessens their chance of losing, I guess. I mean, like the Infernal take isn't as bad as giving 3 kills in Infernal, so and they trade top tower, so at least it stagnates early on, but the Infernal scales better than tower gold does later, unless they can make a play out of the top lane macro, with tier 1 being down, which I don't think they will, but.
So now, with the build that Faker is gone, getting a pick on the Casio in the late game is going to be almost impossible.
Having Banshees without having Cleanse, I mean, it does kind of buffer up in the mid game to not get one shot from Ash Arrow. But then again, like they can just rotate the side lanes, like I've said. Well, top tower went down. They could rotate the side lanes and still pick, pick Varus, pick Graves, pick Lulu even. Like it's still, the Ash pick's still really strong here. But mid, the Talia already got Banshees, so their window was already lost before they could even achieve it on SKT side. So looks like these upsets that have been happening. If this is like the general consensus of the play, is it just they play macro real bad, and their pick ban got boned with the Graves pick. He just can't do anything. There's too much control coming out of mid side and bot side, and also bot lane getting solo kills just like never happened. Lane's pretty safe generally speaking. For LZ to continue their lead though, not the hindsight anymore, they just kind of have to look for mid shove, watching bot pressure. Galio, the Renekton should always match. Holy shit. Think she's still dead? Yeah. We'll watch that again, see what that happened. I was just talking. Oh, okay, that's really interesting. She walks down the river? That's real dumb. I gotta follow, hold on, let me see you followed. That panda guy, thanks for the follow, dude. So yeah, Ash walking through river here, not really smart considering that their whole team's bot side and their vision control is bot side. They have no control top, so her getting picked here is actually just a communication error, or her just not being good. Maybe that wasn't. I doubt that was even remotely discussed. Because she could just walk around or wait for wave to crash again and take it again. And like, there's nowhere else for them to be going. If Galio's the only one pushing ball lane or Renekton's matching him near tier 2, they're going to be looking for top side. They won't be looking to shove mid. It only makes sense for them to be top centric with that tower. So now they just rotate to get the tower for free. That looks hella scripted.
Yeah, but they are going to be able to at least get an outer turret towards the top side of the map, given the man advantage that they have accrued. I can't believe that Frey didn't manage to... I could have sworn he was going to survive that, but unable to, cuz... try and at least get some of his Krugs here from Peanut.
That trade was just really awkward. Now Mid gets to shove in 2, Talia backs. It doesn't change too much, but that pressure should never happen, and it's a momentum swing, so in mental game it matters a little bit more, but they still have a pretty hefty lead.
I mean, they've had great vision, but I think it's more on Frey acting around one area that was pretty blank for Longzhu. Baker was in the top lane, they were setting up vision, SKT in the top half.
So they got free mountain, I guess. They look kind of to play skirmish picks now. They're not going to be looking for anything too neutral unless they can rotate the Baron quickly, which I mean their team can do it, but they want to wait. They want to get a pretty hefty skirmish first before they rotate for Baron, and if they do rotate for Baron, it'll probably just be pressure at this point in the game. They do. I don't know dragon count. I know they have mountain air. They just showed it. Thank you. So I mean, mountain's pretty good for the neutral take. I don't know why I said infernal, but whatever. The special is really good bot side. Renekton's making this comp work a lot better than it should. I mean, it's already pretty strong, but Renekton being able to get split advantage is like amazing against Galio. You don't really want Galio to have initiative in a lane because it just ruins it for how their comp wants to play. So they seem to move their pink wards up, which I think they're about to. They might keep those entrances just in case they want a 3-man Galio, but like, yeah, Prey's just misstepping a lot. It's really just funky. Like he's just pathing. Like I know Stash is there, but he's just pathing in places where their team wants to be. Like there's just no vision, and he just kind of hovers that side before his team gets there. Wall goes down. Yeah, I guess they want to look for this. That's fine. They know that he has no corruption, so it's a lot safer to force tower because they can't just ult you and try to fight you on it. So they blow extra ults. They see cast on side for sure. I don't think that was very. Flash doesn't really matter once the lanes go back to like 1-3-1 or 4-1.
Longzhu keeping up the pace.
I really like the Leonji's rush as well here. It's really, really strong. It gives Talia higher impact in this transition of the game, but this is like the most necessary moment to start trying to have high impact and getting objectives and stuff. They don't want to wait, so going Leonji's gives her a better window for that as well.
You know that Longzhu needs to stay 5 to 10 to 15. They need to continue growing to make this comp work.
Yeah, the Galio, of course, will be that front line that they're looking for as well. So as far as front-to-back team fighting is concerned, they certainly have that going in their favor, even if Huni...
Yeah, they're just gonna look top-centric still. Right, as well as wave shove. This is where it's gonna be pretty boring and pretty easy to discuss unless they make some grave errors here. They'll just like to have Cass kind of just try to continually farm the side lane just to keep getting scaling on items, while Galaxy just tries to hold her neck in bot side. If anyone walks for bot here, and there's 5 people on Longzhu's side of the map, they kind of can force pick on Cass. But now's a good time. Okay, this is really important to look at just how the map's being played. You see Talia show for a wave here, opposed to being on side, and there's 3 people mid side. What you should do, like literally, like it's pretty simple to set up too. Like in game, this isn't hard. You let the cast push up. They have no vision. You just control this vision because you have mid shove. So you control the vision here, and you let Talia wall from the side, and you pick cast. She has some still, but you can still go for it, and it still blows pressure knowing that this Varus is roaming bot side. You get more out of doing that top than you do just pushing mid here, I think. Because Castle just will go to look to walk mid now, I would believe. Yeah, so she goes to walk mid now. They clear wave for tier 2, and they don't get anything. They'll go for Baron pressure now. But Galio still has TP. Galio can just quickly back, which is exactly what he's going to do. Varus has to shove wave. Varus will go shove wave. Galio will back TP if they go for this Baron. So they don't get anything. They get Longzhu doesn't get anything out of the bad macro play, and SKT only gets a kill. Which, I mean, it helps a lot, but...
No defensive items means that he doesn't buy enough time for the turn onto Baron with just a single Mountain Drake to be realistic from Longzhu. That's with Palisades and a player, the Ruin King Ash, who are pretty damn adept at picking out Baron. Talia also...
They still need to be looking for this pick topside or doing a team fight mid knowing the cast is inside lane. That's one or the other here. It looks like they're trying to look for pick here, but there's still vision. Yeah, I don't... They've had a few windows here where they've had moments to catch people. Like now they're recognizing it. Now they recognize the top pick with cash shove, but it's still yet again too late. And now instead of Galio being bot side, he's mid side, which means he has quicker transition to ult top side as well. So overall, like that's just bad macro play. I really just hate this lane allocation. I mean, obviously, like the best teams in the world currently, but in theory, still, it's just like it looks like these games just broke down. I don't think SKT really lost due to getting outplayed. It looks like they're both just fucking up, but LZ has a really easy comp to run here.
The vision here is also very important.
They've had multiple windows where their opportunity was just so massive, and they just let it wash away. But then again, I mean, Cass is 3 items in side lane, and Talia probably has a lot of gold to back on right now, and it's kind of hard to pick her as is. So, hey Nyko, thanks for the follow, buddy. Yeah, so now they can do this Baron. I mean, I don't... It's really straight back to where it was a few minutes ago, but now they're looking like, okay, well, we have some power, we can do it now. They're gonna get fought. Yeah. Cass, yeah, that's really good pathing by Bane to get that ult off. If anyone dies, I'll just beat Gorilla, but I did it. Yeah, okay. So, they just played the safest trade they could there. They weren't trying to do anything too up in there to trade. Like, doing the castle top was probably like, you know, like a pretty close trade, like a 60-40 or like a 55-45 kind of thing, where they're looking to maybe get the kill, and if they risk not getting it, they throw away a lot, opposed to just doing that Baron, doing it really close, and if you think they get Baron and lose like maybe one person. At least from their perspective.
Watch the teleport.
Oh yeah, the TP is really funky. They seem to be setting get side lanes back up rolling, and then Renekton can just split into Galio again with Baron minions. Or they just look to force again, like they have been, but they have really easy sideway manipulation outside of pick. So if let's say they pick cast topside, then blow or like flash or whatever with Talia wall, and their resets, then they can go for actual tower damage or like diving with Baron minions. Since they're a little bit stronger in that regard, and they can just dive cast now. No Mikhails yet from Lulu. So, getting ulted by Ashe still fucking chunks. Did the Blood Banshees. Their side wave manipulation will run out eventually though, because once Renekton stops having a good curve, Galio doesn't care too much about holding him, and he has Frozen Heart Sunfire already, so even then, like, Renekton's not putting him through a lot of pain, a lot of it's just the waves. And the mana that Galio's having to burn to control them.
Harder and harder, so let's see if Longzhu can make a Baron power play work, because for now, everything's looking pretty steadfast for SKT.
Yeah, it's almost like Wolf is the only Wolf and Peanut, the only targets really is.
See, like even that Talia wall just doesn't do anything. Let's say look for Siege Bot or Bang. They recognize Bang. That's super big, but they don't get anything. Yeah, okay, it's Flash. Cool. So they pressure Flash off. That's really good for later. Talia wall's pretty low CD later on, so I mean they can get that pressure off on the next rotation, but their Barons are running out pretty soon. And they're doing a really bad job controlling their side waves on Longzhu's side to manage getting this Baron as gold efficient as it can be. Ashe being up a whole pin item is really big here. Mids, they both have different purposes. Talia's looking for like quick exchanges and looking to team fight a little bit more than the Cassis. Cassis just has a really good build for holding waves. Just Rod Seraphs, she's really good scaling. 30 minutes in, I mean she's set, she's good to go. Yeah, just get played, idiot. Okay, let's look at this real quick and see why propping mid is like the worst fucking thing you can ever do. You could have done this maybe a few minutes ago, but you're gonna be looking at Talia catching top wave. People are backing bot. I don't know if you can see that too much. Renekton's catching side wave here, and then Kha'Zix's paths up. So like literally, they're pretty stuck. They get pretty sandwiched in. You see this cast rotate off vision. So cast rotates up. They see this. They recognize this. They're trying to force this tower really hard. Literally as soon as Cass even crosses where they should have left, because now Cass just gets fucked, or not Cass, Ashe gets fucked really hard, and that's solely due to the fact that they didn't really they didn't recognize their side lanes and like the states of Kha'Zix and Renekton. They didn't communicate Cass rotating up too well. Maybe a little bit too much confidence from Prey this game. Yeah, absolutely not. There's absolutely no reason. Well, they've had multiple opportunities in the past 10 minutes to look top for Cass solo farming side lanes, or having Renekton having Galio under his own tower with Renekton splitting this while having bot lane vision. There's been multiple opportunities to take these side lanes, but it looks like I said, most of this game has just been mistakes from SKT side and like little micro situations where they could have gotten a lot bigger of a force on these neutral objectives, but chose not to. No, you're fine. But overall, this game, in my opinion, looked like Longzhu did a really good job of controlling neutrals, and their early game pressure with having this vision right here on red side, or red jungle on blue side, changed a lot of how this game got paced. And also SKT didn't really have a very good answer for it. There were windows where bot lane would get solo killed and Talia ulted down here, and it was really incorrect. But they still would get invade vision on them, and like they just didn't really punish. Not punish, but they didn't really recognize that what they were trying to do on Longzhu's side, and then reactively play against it.
He takes down Wolf, slice and dice, makes it out with a dark passage.
Well, I'm gonna watch that again because I was talking. So like this side lane from Talia being topside literally makes 0 sense. Thank you for the follow, buddy, by the way. So Talia shoves topside here. Like this is great. They recognize, like there's ping here. They recognize Cass bot side, right? So okay, cool. They see this rotation bot. Renekton's getting chased down. You should probably, like, which is how the map is. They can't do anything. Prey's dead. Prey getting picked mid literally fucking opened the map so hard. Yeah, the casters overhype it. But they have to. It's their job. So like Renekton just gets picked bot here for free. Thresh just come in to try to throw Lantern to save his ass. Like just like how the map is, the only option they do have is Talia pushing top here. It's solely just due to the fact that Ashe got picked mid. If Ashe didn't get picked mid, this whole entire lane allocation would change, and then there wouldn't be this pick bot. So this is SKT taking a pretty random pick mid and actually turning it into a really good advantageous situation with this dive bot. This isn't really common. Like this is not like a really normal play. This is super duper strong by SKT side to recognize, okay, we got pick mid, they can't control mid waves anymore, so they just send Varus mid and dive bot as fast as they can. But they send Varus to do this instead of Cass, which is odd, but I think this is like a super duper good play. Guy ult super duper smart, Lulu gets ult. She dies, right? Yeah. It's just how they play the fight's really bad. But that dive's really smart. I think Varus should probably be a little bit more bot centric though, but it's whatever. Until he gets top tower. It's just, like I said, there's a lot of micro situations where SKT's just fucking up.
But think about it, did that outplay buy them a lot? Now, BDD shows it bought them something with the Baron buff.
The mentality, like the theory behind the play was pretty good on, and at least in that specific regard. For the most part, their macro play's been pretty off. So that was really good macro. Micro wasn't there.
I think SKT is just fine.
Yeah, I feel like it too.
And Longzhu, even at 30 minutes, still has a comp where their impact is still pretty high. Even with Ashe down there, that trade was very worthwhile for them. Where Ashe is kind of their window towards everything.
This is really cool. Khan instantly respecting the heroic entrance. Turns on to Wolf. Wolf walked up. Ult's not going to be enough to take him out. The flash away.
This is just cut faster.
The dark passage.
Basically.
Just beautiful mechanical play from Khan.
See, I don't like Cassian's late game stuff because like it doesn't really get too in depth anymore. Like they just control mid tier 2 here. Bot still has shove initiative. They'll look for bot side now. They just rotate quick. They can look for fight. Tower goes down. Wall goes down. Yeah, that makes so much sense. It's just super duper basic like fundamental play. What do you mean the dive? You mean the one that just happened? Sorry, my stream's a little bit more delayed than it was before.
Instantly respecting the heroic entrance. Was able to get an inner turret, which is more than.
I think the dive really shouldn't have happened given the ward control of SKT's bottom side. Oh, okay, I understand what you're saying. I think they recognize that they have a lot of bot side vision on, like Longzhu has a lot of bot side vision on this side, but they know that there's no other play for them to make. I guess I don't know why they don't just rotate from mid, but they want to pick in the bot tower, which makes a lot of sense because that leaves the wave here, and they can push this wave in more to control at least this side of the map's pressure, so that the guy who can actually do something else besides hover under his tier 2 and lose it. So I think they just opt to do this instead of go mid, even though they could literally just run down mid. Overall, I don't think it's a bad play. I think you kind of, when you sandwich Renekton, you have to make sure that you have an answer if he just tries to opt to kill one side, which is obviously what he's going to do. I mean, look at his fucking build. It's Black Cleaver, Titanic, Deadman's. I'm going to watch this again, at least in micro. Literally, like... Okay. Lulu sees a redemption. So she takes this tower hit, she sees a redemption. She used all of her abilities on her, like even she used E on him. Like that's so fucking dumb. She used the E herself than redemption. That was just a mechanical play. That was a mechanical error. He was running back the whole entire time. That's the issue. Is that when they were answering for this bot side, Renekton was walking back the whole entire time. He got stuck for the most part, no matter what, because he's just opting to shove this bot in really hard. And I guess he assumed that they would go for mid tower over him going, or over them picking him bot. Because by the time he starts walking back from here, they catch Cass walking forward on river, so...
Outplays upon outplays, Papa Smithy. But think about it, did that outplay buy them a lot? Now, BDD shows it bought them something.
It looks like a lot of this is just really awful play. So there's a lot of really awful micro play from SKT where the answer makes sense. Like, tower just goes down, that's fine. Wolf, he needs to shield himself and then instantly throw down Redemption as like a zoning tool. Same reason the Galio still ult on the zone. He wants to throw Redemption down on himself the zone so he doesn't look go all in her.
Take him out. The flash away from the punch and then into the dark passage was just.
But now let's go back to what they were doing with the ulted bot with Talia wall. Yeah, there it is. They don't get pressure off of it. There's arrow. I don't think they get. No, they get kill. I forgot. Fucking Ashe is huge. Okay, they have fucked on a pin. Yeah, they can't hard fight 5-man for too long against Cass. Or like they can flash fight, but like against them like they did there, but they can't extend it too long or Cass R. So a lot of them just did a really good job with the Cass R. Yeah, Khan's nuts. It was still really well played. He analyzed that dive pretty well to fight Lulu, knowing that she blew E on him and that she had kill pressure. So and there's nothing else for him to do anyways besides kill Lulu, which is what SKT needs to recognize as well. So.
I think it's because he was low on the magic resist and B just kind of obliterated him.
I want to start doing these streams more often. It's hella fun. Even though no one's here right now because everyone left because I had to fix my buffer or whatever, my bitrate stuff. So now this is kind of where Longzhu has some issues because there's no 2-2s to contest with Talia wall, where Talia wall is usually pretty strong. For them to opt to do tier 3s, they have to look for picks in jungle and kind of just bait around neutrals for the most part. That's a really easy way to do it, and that's probably the safest bet, and that's usually what LCK does anyways. Their biggest rate of return is going to come from that kind of stuff. So they'll look to shove waves in, get vision control, then kind of shoot for neutrals. Both neutrals are up in a minute 30. So overall, I mean, they do want to look for neutrals. Pressuring them at least is really strong. Going for tier 3 5-man is just not very popular of a choice. Like they're having the siege and wave control against the low eco AD like Varus, Cass, Lulu, Galio. It's not good. They're gonna constantly look the 4-1, and 4-1's generally better with neutral pressure as well, unless you just have outright siege pressure.
Anything like that, even after picks on the side of Longju. Now to set up for this Baron that's going to be coming up in a minute. Feels like Scimitar done for Prey as well.
Feels like if Longju play
Nice serve.
everything perfect, they will win this game, but the 10,000 gold lead now.
Them keeping mid tier 1 up on Longzu's side is really important for how Talia plays the map as well. It's less windows for them to have to reactively Talia wall or stop them from sieging, stop SKT from sieging. They get to play proactively with the Talia at basically all points in the game, which definitely just changes how the mental game is played and just how momentum works. SKT just kind of sandwiched. Yeah, Khan just ease out because his team can't collapse fast enough, and Galio's bot side as well. So they just get Dragon. Yeah, as long as they should have it. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, wall goes in. That's perfect. But Cass just gets free reign. That's 5-man redemption. Yeah, it's pretty big. They have no way to collapse now either. Renekton just goes in 5-man. Yeah, they have to go Hui like super fast. Kha'Zix is dead. Yeah, this fight was. They played the fight to like the fights elongated are good for LZ, but when you pinch them and like the carries play adjacent from Ashe, it's difficult. And Renekton was in a really weird spot that fight to where he couldn't zone for the Ashe as well. And Kha'Zix couldn't get flank to pressure ult from Cass to go just one specific direction. Like we can go over the fight again real quick. I actually would like to go over that in depth. Let me go back. This is really important. This is when you want to start watching cooldowns and stuff. So Lantern CD, just keep that in mind. Lantern CD. So with Lantern CD, if he does dive in early, like let's say as he comes back up and he dives in, or if he didn't choose to, like Lantern's on CD, so he can't choose to do that already. Yeah, no, they wanted to elongate this fight because it ends game. That's why they wanted to fight this so bad. Like this arrow, like this is a really good Talia flank, but Renekton walks up instead of walks down. He doesn't have flash available, and I don't think he has E up quite yet. His E's probably up in the next 2 to 4 seconds. Nah, it's probably like 4 seconds. Yeah, the thing about this that's really big, like you said, that's proper, is that they have tier 1. The only thing that they have is tier 3, and they're on the side that has mid initiative. So they literally just walk up clear wave mid, then walk up and do Baron again, and they already have all their control vision top side. So technically, yeah, they could just walk up and control the Baron, but at the same time, they still have to force a 5-man fight on that neutral either way. No matter what they do here, they're forced into having to do 5-man on either neutral. Even if they do take this dragon and just instantly walk up, by the time they just shove mid back in or choose not to shove in mid and fight them here, it doesn't matter. So they want to. This is a more for sure like Spitfire way to end the game. It's just a 5-man. They have Asher on him. I don't think he might have QSS now. I haven't really been watching items too much. I'm just kind of watching like fundamental play of teams and stuff. He might have QSS. I'm not sure. That'll hit him. They have Lulu Wool. They have like Galio literally sitting on top of him. I think this arrow is more well put on Graves. It picks him real quick, sets it up into a 4v5, and there's also no smite for SKT. I think this arrow placement is not bad. I think this arrow placement is not good. I think if you arrow down and hit Graves at that post dash and just save arrow, you kill him real quick. Lulu has to literally walk up into your team to ult him or save him at all, and then you just pick this into going into Baron. That makes more sense. But also doing the 5-man fight, it's fine if he gets flanked and pressures from a different angle, because then Cass can just ult one way or the other. You know, like if you all flank from one direction, Cass just RZ, right? So they'll see Banshees on CD. Look, like this W is perfect by him, but he shouldn't be here. He should be on flank. He should be on the side. He should E over. This is more pressure. That makes Cass say, oh shit, I have to hit this Renekton while their team walks through miasma. Yeah, but like they have to, if they want to do this, they'd be doing the same thing except more damage from, like they'll take more damage from a neutral objective being on Baron, as well as like this is also theoretical, so I could be wrong. But for them to turn, they have to have Ash Arrow available, and I mean turning a 5v5 in pit with Cast Miasma and Varus ult's never really that great. They'd rather just fight it in a neutral lane like this where they can turn out of river and then fight here, opposed to having to fight outside from pit out, opposed to river out, if that makes sense. Like, hold on, that's really, yeah, I mean like let's say like if they fight Baron, they have to fight out and then do this, opposed to having to like to like peel out this way and then like fight in this area. It's a little bit better. I think overall they want to fight in lanes. This team does. They want to get picks, or like get quick skirmish picks in jungle. They don't really want to force 5v5 too much. especially in River, because Cash just presses R and like it hits everyone here. Like, it's not even an issue. Like, it's just better if you are doing these kinds of fights that you have flashes available, like you said, or you get flanks from terrain, because you're not gonna really get a really good answer from them unless you like this Talia wall is really good. Graves gets the flash back in. If he just hits arrow here, like literally he just dies and then they just reset with box and then they can't follow back up. Yeah, well, I think his E was on CD. I think that's why he did that. That's the pretty. That's the only thing that makes sense. See, like, okay, this ult's good. Miasma's literally about to fall, like 2 seconds. See, not even 2 seconds, like 1. Miasma falls, but they all get redemption. They're all full health on that reset, and they have no arrow. Like, no arrows up, arrows on CD, so you can basically just call this fight as is, just like a 5v5 with no utility ults. Like, they're both just gone. It does absolutely nothing. Now the fight just reset. Castle has ult, Renekton just popped ult. Thresh has no ult, but Lulu has ult. Like, if you reset and you forget the past, yeah, it's not a good position to fight either. You're cornering a Cassiopeia into a wall where you can only walk from one angle. It's not good. It's fine initially if you use the arrow, but like you have to reset the fight and think about it from the sense that, like, let's say the past 4 seconds didn't happen and this is all you have. It's just these things. Like your cooldowns, everything, just everything that happened after the initial dragon fight. Essentially when the redemption hit and they just hovered this bot wall, it reset, right? So now the fight's completely reset, and like now I would say Longzhu has less of a percent chance of winning this fight, solely due to the fact that they're resetting a fight where they're basically all full health and they don't have utility. They have no arrow, no box. Casket's good window. They just didn't get a pick at the beginning of the fight, so they lose it. So watch it again. Look, like they all just clump down. Renekton, like for one, no vision of this bush if Renekton's not in. Renekton is outside of the bush, right here, so they have no vision of this. Talia has to walk in from here, and all the carries are sitting here backed up clumped. This dive, he doesn't get popped necessarily, but this engage doesn't get synergized with anything else. So they just take the pressure. Let's keep watching. So he walks out, yet again, no vision in there, right? So they walk out. 4 is safe, he just paths up. This is fine. Talia Q went down, like everything's on CD basically, there's volley as well. Galio can walk up and reforce engage with ult if need be. Yeah, which is fine, but I'm saying, like, when we were talking about this up here earlier with the dragon, you were speaking of like taking the dragon and then just resetting and going up. I was saying, like, if they do choose to force the fight, they have 2 options and they have to do them like pretty well. I do agree that the reset's the proper thing to do, but it's just a matter of, okay, well, you can fight and you get more of an advantage, but it's more of a risk and it's a lot more micro based. So you have to do a lot more specific movements. Like you have to Ash Arrow that Graves there, and if you don't get that, you have to reset. If the Renekton doesn't dash over the wall and get pressure on Cassiopeia, you can't dive the backline and stuff like that. Like that fight's just bad for them, but if you do it 100% proper, it's not terrible. So Galliot's pretty good, just keeps him invulnerable. I just skipped all the way back. Holy shit. I can look at my stream, 4136, got you, haha. Okay. This fight probably changes a lot of the game too, because Longzhu could have won off that either way. So it's 1-for-0, they blew all ults. But keep in mind, like they do trade 1-for-0 on Longzhu's side, but they have to back and stuff as well. I guess they can go up and get Baron pressure still, but they blew more stuff too. I love Asho pretty soon. The only thing they can do is pressure Baron though. Yeah, this makes sense. Ooh, that's not good. They need to walk out. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. He should have just walked up.
Still 25 seconds.
If they do that, then I don't think they get the same opportunities. If he walks farther down and he pressures through Tribush, then they just turn on Talia for the most part if they have flashes. It's good for her to get wall from a lower angle perhaps, or like ride wall in and then pick somebody, but that's a lot of split pressure when Cass could just blow one up with R, you know what I mean? Especially Talia. It's okay. Okay. How did they get that? What the fuck? Yeah, that's what happens. That makes sense. Okay, I was so confused for a second. That's game. I want to watch this again.
still playing as a unit, but SKT have
Like Longzoo's really relying on Con and Thresh,
started off this
and then just Ashe utility. Like these are longer range necessities, while these have to be in the front, or at least like enabling the picks to go through. Faker needs to be back here already. Faker should have never been right here. It's cool to throw my Asmod and instantly back up, but he took like half of his health. They confirm Baron, okay. There's nothing they can do. They just get stuck in pit. That was just a bad call, I think, overall. But they can't not do it, or they lose either way. Crush have ult up yet either. They're really relying on ults too, but then a reactive sense and not a proactive one. They need these ults up for when their ults are up. And then when... Yeah, that fight overall just looks like they have no other option but to do that. They throw the Baron away. They're forced into walking into pit again, and they don't really want to do that when Longzoo has wave control still. The fight where they could have taken Dragon there, it was due to mid initiative, but even then they were on the bottom side of the river opposed to the top side, so no matter what, like positionally they've lost like every fight in macro. Longzoo's done a really good job of pushing SKT around and making them be in like, even if a neutral doesn't go their way or something on Longzoo's side, they force SKT into a bad macro position so they can go for something else. Yeah, well, they have to YOLO. You can see this is gonna happen if they didn't get Baron. So they just took away the Baron, so their punish could be a little bit weaker, I guess. I don't know. I think overall, the play from this game on SKT side has been really bad macro.
Looks like Longzoo actually agree with this. Is Bang. Immediate QSS gets himself out of the way. The Ash arrow, but first Nexus will fall down. Cuz making sure Bang can't clear out the way.
2 seconds for Faker.
Oh, not gonna
Let's just get.
Nexus has been focused and Longzoo.
You could like literally. All I talked about that game that was really obvious on why they lost was solely just due to the macro movements in the early game. And the pick ban was really good from Longzoo's side to get Kha'Zix early and then just have no other jungles. They got rid of 2 high pressure ones and just gave them Galio. They said, okay, we don't give a fuck if you flex. Either way, let's take mid initiative and invade through jungle pre-6. And their pre-6 vision won them most of that game. Elongating it going into mid game, I mean, there are a lot of windows that Longzoo could have taken that were a little bit riskier when they should have, and then they took ones that were... They took risky plays that they didn't need to take, like that Dragon fight we just watched. That wasn't really necessary to take at all, but they took it anyways, just because the game was essentially over at that point, so they were a little bit more willing to take the risk, opposed to earlier when Cass would be solo pushing topside and Talia wouldn't ult to Ashe Arrow because they were just scared of not getting the pick, and then or dying to Cassiopeia on the 2v1 or something like that, and then in turn losing Baron control. So I guess that makes sense. But overall, Longzoo did a really good job playing that game out. I think SKT could have done a little bit better in controlling the bot invade vision if Graves did a little bit more mid-citric or helped Cash shove wave to get bot lane control or bot side control. But overall, I mean, little differences in play in the early game kind of just snowballed how the rest of the teams played, or the rest of the game went. Sorry, oh my god, I cannot speak English. Yeah, I would be, dude, he's shaking. Look at him. He played that game so well, he's shaking.